Hello everybody, just a little, I guess, garage preview update of getting it cleaned up, getting ready to work in it this winter. Went ahead and pushed my stunt bike out of the way. I'm going to actually load it up and haul it up to a buddy of mine's house to let him do some work on it this winter. Also, went ahead and moved my big kayak out of the garage. The way the rafters and stuff are set up in there, it's just really not going to hang in there very well at all. So I'm actually going to move that down to the warehouse, build a little rope pulley rig real quick, and get that mounted up out of the way so it's not in the warehouse area. The main reason I'm doing this, I guess, is I got to make room for my new lathe. I picked up, well, new to me, it's a rather old lathe, 12-inch wood lathe, 36-inch, I believe, long, 12-inch high, which means that's going to be 6 inches from this point to the bar, so I can turn a 12-inch wide bowl or 12-inch wide column, I guess, if I wanted to go that crazy. So it's got a little bit of surface rust on it. I picked it up real cheap. It came with a set of tools, a couple different tool rests and that, whatnot. Nice little stand, got the wheels. I probably haven't made my mind up. I'm going to try it with this. I might go ahead and actually remount this onto a better stand, because the way his legs stand out, it makes it real nice and handy and sturdy, but it is not the most convenient for space. So the other thing I picked up the same day was this joiner here. It's a 6-inch or 8-inch, I don't remember, to be honest with you now, joiner. It's also a Craftsman brand. The man that had it before the guy got it actually burnt the motor up and put a much larger, like 3 times the size motor on there. So I can't imagine, even with some hardwoods, that it's going to, slow this baby down a little bit. The one thing with it is, being how this whole thing is a super heavy cast iron, nice true fence and whatnot, I hauled it home in the back of my Dodge there, and basically get it up in the process of putting this up in there, something slipped, whatever. I tore a bunch of muscles in my shoulder, and it took me 3 days to finally get this out of the truck. So it was going to start raining, and I didn't want it left covered in tarps. So I actually built myself a wooden ramp, and I should have set a camera up and filmed that, because had it fallen, it would have been great video. But luckily it didn't fall. I was able to get it out by myself. Worked out really well. I haven't had a chance to even mess with it because, as I'm about to show you here, my garage is just overwhelmed with crap. So I have my riding gear in the bag, which I have not got put away yet. My archery target and that, my dartboard, don't take up any space. But the real big thing is, you guys see all the styrofoam boxes. I've got just stacks and stacks of these things here. These are what they ship fish and reptiles into pet stores, and these are all leftovers that they basically, when you order through an online company that actually doesn't hand deliver it, they ship it through UPS or FedEx, then it's not worth shipping them back. So I'm going to actually take each of these, and I've got some fishing wire I'm going to try and see if it works. I'm going to mount these basically up in between my rafters, and they're a little bit narrow in the rafter, but it should give me nice little pockets of insulation. Not the best way, then I might come over and re-plastic the whole thing too. So I haven't figured out exactly what I'm doing with them yet, but I do know they make a wonderful insulation. I had, at one point, 2 rows deep of these stacked from floor to ceiling on one of the back walls of my retail shop, and I could not believe how much difference it made, because I was messing around one winter and I moved them all out just to see what it would do, and it was probably 15 degrees colder on that wall than it was without. So anyway, the next thing I've got here is just basically just random amounts of just general stuff packed up. I've got some shelving over there that I started to put in. The biggest problem I have out here is a lot of this stuff is not mine. There's like some big ugly tables and stuff back here in the corner. So you get that. There's that table and the one that's sitting underneath it. There's a couple real tall tables stacked up there, 8 foot long, so they don't stand very well. Just a lot of the stuff is the lady I bought the house from, that was her husband's, and he passed away many years ago, and she keeps talking like she wants to have an auction, but she can't make her mind up. So basically I'm kind of storing on it. I'm thinking about actually going and moving a lot of this stuff into a storage unit. Like, for instance, I have a table saw here. It's a nice, shop craft. I mean, it's a decent table saw. I've used it once. Works decent, but he's put it on a really short little base because he had severe back problems, and it did not allow him to, he ended up setting down in a lot of his woodworking and stuff. So the problem with it is if you're cutting anything of any size, he did a lot of craft, small stuff, but when I'm cutting plywood, that kind of stuff, it doesn't have the rigidity of the triangular feet. So basically it has the problem with it wants to tip over constantly. I kept having to like stop the thing, throw some more weight on it. It was just a big pain in the butt. So I want to get rid of that because I do actually have my table saw, unless we can see it over here. My table saw is right over there. It's got the actual factory built frame, so it's much more stable. I also have like my motorcycle ramps back here in the corner. I need to get them out of here once I get the stunt bike loaded up and hauled out. My bracket right there, which holds my bikes in my van, works out pretty handy. I'm going to go ahead and load the stunt bike in the van also because the ramps I have are about 6 foot long and my truck's too tall that it will not actually fit in there. So when you push the bike halfway up in, you have to lift the back of the ramps and to get it all in there. And it's a pain in the butt, especially by yourself. It actually is impossible to do by yourself. So got a bunch of my 2x4s there. Might use those to help build the ramp a little bit shallower to get the stunt bike up in the van. Cause I'm by myself doing it. Don't like to bug my wife with that kind of thing. So anyway, we come on around here. We got an old workbench that was here when I bought the shop. There actually was a little platform that used to bend out on those door hinges. It would flip out nicely, which it was way too short for anything I'd ever do. So I went ahead and got rid of it. I probably will tear out that workbench because it's not, I don't know, it's too deep from the wall. It's about 36 inches deep. And my truck, when I pull in the garage, actually gets about a foot from that when I park it in here. So the problem with that is the fact that it makes it hard to get in and out of. So, and move around, that kind of thing. Move on around, I've got just some old, an old white cabinet back there, a fire extinguisher that doesn't work. A lot of this stuff is just not my stuff. Most of this you're seeing here now is, I've moved a lot of her stuff out. Now that I got rid of all her daughter's junk that was up in the loft area, I got rid of all that crap, gave it back to her. I've got a lot more room to store some of her stuff. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move some of her stuff up there and get started. I got a few boards here for some little projects I have in mind but haven't got around to yet. So more plywood, just some old stereo speakers that I had. Actually some really nice stereo speakers I bought from a guy I used to work with back in like 93, I think it was. So it's been a little while, but they still work great. Haven't decided if I'm going to bring out a stereo out here yet or not. So anyway, a lot of this I guess is just kind of crazy ramblings here about what's going on. I also have a little door corner shelf back there I started building. Haven't put the shelves in it yet, but it's a good start. Also, that kind of lime greenish yellow color is a solar pop can heater that I've never finished and haven't got put together. So anyway, kind of give you some idea of what I got going here, and hopefully I'll get this stuff moved around. I got to get the styrofoam out of the way at least before I can even light up my wood stove. So it's nice and, I don't know, windy day, but not cold. So I've been out here doing some of this work. Went ahead and finished up a couple little things I had outside I need to do. So anyway, I'll basically fill you in as I get going a little farther here. Thanks for watching. Please have yourself a wonderful and safe day. And if you would be so kind as to reach up there on the top right there and click that subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. Have yourself a good one.